Hello. Hi there. Hope everyone is well. Greetings from Turkey. Actually, I'm here with my family on vacations. My mood is great. Hope your mood is great as well. And today we'll talk about performance marketing. So in this session, I will speak about what kind of setup you should have in the first place to be successful at performance marketing, and then some few basics, let's say, and tips from my experience at every step of the sales funnel. Talking about the experience, so short introduction about myself. I am Giedrius Morkūnas. I'm in marketing for the last 15 years. I had my pleasure to work from the B2B to startup companies, spend digital marketing budgets from zero when I was working for some startups to 100,000 per month when working with some major brands. So I have actually a good overview what works in different areas and what you should have when you actually start the business. So if there are a lot of startups, I think this session will be extremely good for you. And if you're working for the corporate, so maybe it will be a short refresher what works on the performance angle. Great, so let's start. With the performance marketing, the most important thing is data. So if you don't have data or you don't have tools how to collect it, you won't be successful at performance marketing. So here is the basic setup of the tools that you can use, and actually don't have a big budget in order to be successful at performance marketing. All you need to do, I would truly recommend to master Google Tag Manager. With the Google Tag Manager, you can do a lot of things, and then probably 90% of people have Google Analytics. So those two things, those two tools are the most important. For some advanced users, you should think about the local data warehouse, where all the data comes directly to some kind of cloud where you store it, and then you can analyze it from every angle that you want. But that's probably the next level. So first thing first, page analytics tracking. It's, as I said, 90% Google Analytics. Then it's A/B testing. With the performance marketing, you always need to test. Either test channels or to test CRO, as the previous presenter just mentioned, to test what works on the page. Because these testings, majority of the tests probably won't be successful, but from few of them, you will get like 1% improvement, 2% improvements in your conversion rate. And that in the whole picture, at the end of the year, let's say you will get 10% better conversion rate on your website. So with the A/B testing, I would recommend Optimize. That's a free tool. You can have it together with the Google Analytics. It works really amazing. If you want to have, let's say, some more features, you can use Crazy Egg. Crazy Egg is my own personal favorite tool here. So that's why I've added it here, but there are plenty of other tools in the market. Then on-site behavior tracking. With the on-site behavior, you will be able to identify where people leave your websites and maybe to have some kind of ideas why that happens. So this is mainly the recordings on how people act on your website. For the recordings, usually we are using, and majority of the companies are using Crazy Egg or the Hotjar. Hotjar probably is more expensive, but it has some additional features where you can create some kind of polls on the website, get extra information about your visitors from them. So you should consider Hotjar. But if you just want to have some kind of recordings and to be able to measure from which channels people come and how they interact, what they click, where they go, so Crazy Egg is perfect here. And again, you can do actually all the same things with the Google Tag Manager, of course, without the recordings, but you can track on which CTRs they're clicking, which pages they're visiting, how they behave. So all info is there if you will master Google Tag Manager. Then the sales funnel setup. This for me is the most important. With the sales funnel setup, you will be able to see why people are leaving your website from your sales funnel. So if you have, let's say, the ideal sales funnel for your business, is it the e-commerce or is it B2B business? The sales funnels are different there, but you should have the ideal sales funnel in your mind. And then with these tools, you will be able to see where people are leaving a website, at which step they are coming, and why they are leaving. So that step will be the one that you will want to improve, and you will know what to improve only then when you understand why they're leaving. So that will help you to understand what kind of A/B test you should do at that specific step where people are leaving your website. So there you will be able to improve your performance, let's say, or the conversion rate. Conversion tracking setup. With the conversion tracking setup, it's all about the Google Tag Manager if you're using Google Analytics. So you need to track what kind of goals you want to achieve on your website. If it's e-commerce, I will show you just in the next slide. Actually, I can show it now. With the e-commerce, probably the most important thing is to have enhanced e-commerce enabled. So and probably that's it. You don't need some additional fancy things to measure performance. But if you sell some kind of goods on your website, just go to the settings, click on the e-commerce settings, and enable it. With this kind of setup, you will be able to see how many people came to your website, how many people saw the product, how many of them added the product to the cart, how many of them started the checkout, and how many finished. And so here, if we were speaking about the sales funnel setup, so that will be your ideal sales funnel. And that's how you will see, at which step people are leaving. So majority, actually, that's a fact, majority of them are leaving when they're starting checkout, but never finishing that. So if you, again, if you have, let's say, 5 steps when people start checkout until they finish, you can additionally see at which stage they are leaving. So let's say the first step might be, adding some kind of personal data just to register, or just to, fill in the information who you are as a buyer. Then second step might be the address where they need to ship your goods. Third step is the payment information. So with this kind of setup, with an enhanced e-commerce setup, you will see each of that step, and you will see where people are leaving. So if majority of the people will be leaving when they will need to fill out the personal data, so it might be that you're asking simply for too much. Maybe you don't need to have the phone number, or maybe you don't need to ask for the post data, post address. You can maybe get that automated from kind of online channels. But the rule of thumb is that as much fields you will have, the less conversion there will be. So ideally, there should be just one field. So then the maximum conversion will be on your checkout step. But probably you can't do that. So try to minimize that. And again, you see where they're dropping. Test that specific place. Test that specific step to see how you can ask for less, or just to encourage them, let's say, to move ahead. So that works well with e-commerce. If you're talking about the B2B business, so that's another way. And for that, let's say for the sales funnel setup, you might need a mix panel, to set it up to see what kind of steps they should be taking and they are not. But overall, Google Tag Manager is an ideal tool, to use that. With the conversion tracking setup, it's really important to understand that every advertising channel has their own tracking and conversion. So if you're using Google Ads as your advertisement channel, so Google Analytics is good for that. You need just to import your conversions from Google Analytics to Google Ads, or use Google Ads tag separately. That's up to you, but those are closely related. If you're using Facebook as ad channel, you need to set up additional conversion just for the Facebook. So you need to create Facebook pixel, add to a website, and then create conversion events directly on the Facebook. With the LinkedIn, is the same. You need to add LinkedIn tracking pixel to the website, and then to see what kind of conversions you want to achieve with the LinkedIn ads. So that's for the performance marketing. That's crucial, because all these different channels advertising channels, Facebook, LinkedIn, Google, they are they are evolving, and they are evolving on their own data. So if there won't be any Facebook pixel implemented on your website and you will just run Facebook ads, so the Facebook, algorithm will have no data to learn from, and that will be, waste of your money. Of course, you will have some kind of conversions for sure, but you'll never be like the best at it. So you need to have each of these pixels on your website. And again, probably you already heard that from the next year, all these things will change. Probably there will be no more Facebook pixel. There will be conversions APIs. So you need to dig into that already. But until then, if you're just starting now, let's say a business, so add Facebook pixel to your website for sure, and just allow Facebook to learn from what's happening on your website in order to, let's say, be more successful in the future. Yeah, so, and if we're talking about the Facebook tracking setup itself, so that for the all ads, I strongly recommend to use Facebook Business Manager, because some of the companies are still advertising from their Facebook page, boosting the post, and that's not efficient. It's not something I can call performance. So just please stop doing that if you're doing until now, and create Facebook Business Manager and run all the ads through that. Again, with the shopping, you need to have Facebook shopping and then Instagram shopping set up separately, just get all the approvals from the Facebook, and these are really efficient channels to work with. So that's, let's say, the basic setup of what you have. And once you have that, you can move forward. Again, here are the short structure of the enhanced e-commerce. So I strongly recommend to have this. When you have this, you have already like a lot of data to analyze. Second thing is the user ID. When you have Google Analytics, you have ability to track every person like individually. But you need to go to the settings and you need to, agree to the terms and conditions, and then add some additional piece of the code to your Google Analytics code to your website. And that will allow you to track all the users based on the personal data. Probably that won't last too long, because from the next year, Google says that there won't be any personal tracking anymore. So probably the remarketing, as we know it today, will be gone. But until that time, please do this. And with this kind of data, so in Google Analytics, you won't be simply seeing that some kind of random person 01235 came to your website and bought your goods, but you will be able to merge it with your CRM system, where you have all your data on your customers. And then with Google Analytics, with the user ID, you will see that Giedrius, let's see, he came from that specific channel, let's say Facebook. He spent 5 minutes on one page, 2 minutes on another page, he left. Then he came back from the natural search, then he bought the goods. Maybe he will come, maybe he is coming back in 2 months. And again, all that data you will see based on person level. What that will help you, it will help you to understand from which channels your best customers are coming. It will help you to understand what kind of goods and services they are buying, if these services or goods are related. Let's say, maybe if you e-commerce and you're selling some home appliance, maybe that you will see the relations that they're buying chairs and tables in 2 months or so. But again, that kind of information helps to analyze behaviors, and that improves your performance overall. So when you have all this information, then it all comes to the customer acquisition costs. For the performance marketing, this is the crucial. When you have all your tracking set up and ready, now you need to understand how much you can spend to acquire one customer. So, if you will ask yourself how much I can spend on Facebook ads and you don't know the answer, that's a problem. So you need to have customer acquisition costs very clear. Is it e-commerce business? Is it B2B business? Doesn't matter. You need to have that number. And here's a very simple method, how you can calculate that. So let's say you have some kind of product costs, the fixed cost. If you are doing some kind of services, so that may be a salary of that person who's providing the services. So then you will need to have some kind of profit margin, profit margin to pay for all the commodities, for your business, and then to have some, let's say, something else to make your business profitable. So in this case, let's say if you have 1,000 fixed costs, and then you want to earn 40% from your sales, and the average sales value is 2,500. So in this case, you would have like the cost of 2,000 with your margin, with everything. And then if your average sales value is 2,500, so 500 will be left for your ads, let's say, to attract a customer. It will be like a mathematically good approach. But here, a lot of businesses forgot that, it's really important to upsell. It's very important to have additional sale to the same person. That's where the real profit comes from, especially if you are B2B, if you e-commerce business. For the e-commerce business, it's usually to attract first client. It's not profitable in most of the cases. They earn from selling additional to the same client without ads or with the newsletters or some direct mailings, like whatever. So you need to bear in mind, and you need to calculate how many transactions the same user is doing. And with this number, let's say in this case, we say that it's 1.72. So the user is not buying 2 times, but it's like buying more than 1 time. And here you can now calculate the lifetime value. The lifetime value is the amount of the money, let's say, that the user is spending on your website or buying from you for the whole time as he's your client, let's say. And then from this number, you need to separate costs, and then you have the customer acquisition cost. So in this case, it's 860. So customer acquisition costs are the all costs involved in marketing and sales. Don't forget the sales. If you are selling B2B, so these costs, again, should be calculated as your sales team cost as well. So now you're clear how much money you can spend, on your ads together with the sales team, if it's a B2B business, or just for the ads, if it's e-commerce. And now you have the specific amount of the budget, and this budget you can divide through the whole your ads channels. Now you are ready actually to go. And in the below, there is ROAS, return on ad spend, and with the return on ad spend, you can actually use this number for every ads channel. You can use this number in Google Ads and Facebook Ads, those 2 main channels, and simply set up your whole campaign so it won't exceed this kind of number to attract one sale. So when you have this ready, then you can move forward to see your sales funnel. Here in this example, you have a very general sales funnel setup. It's like 4 stages. So the first one is tofu. It's top of the funnel. And in this stage, basically, you want to get awareness about your product. In this stage, people are not ready to buy from you yet. But in order to get more sales, you need to spread the word if you're actually a new business. So just to get more awareness of who you are and what you do. At the MOFU, it's middle of the funnel. So here is the consideration stage where people actually are already looking for some kind of services or goods that you sell or provide. So here people are ready to buy, and they're choosing from few kind of suppliers, and they're actually looking for the solutions. And BOFU is bottom of the funnel. Here people are already chose like 2 or 3 providers that they will buy from, and they're considering which gets the bigger value. So the value, if you're B2B, so the value might be some additional services, consultations. If you e-commerce, so it's free shipping, some kind of other, extra additional value that user wants to have. And then the very fourth is the retention. Retention is selling for the same person one more time. So that's really, really important to have this in mind when you are setting up your, sales campaign. And usually if you are new business, so from whole your budget, let's say, if we have, from the previous slide, if you have like 860 euros to attract one customer, so at the BOFU step, we don't want to spend more than like 40% of that budget. If you're just starting, or if you're a new business, or you have some kind of budget issue, so you can even forget this step. The whole performance comes from the middle of the funnel and bottom of the funnel. And so that's theory, what you see here. But in real life, if you are eShop, so probably you can skip the middle stage. So sometimes we can set up campaigns with the goal conversion and use this kind of setup to the very cold audience. So the cold audience that actually never knew about you. So it means that you will launch some kind of awareness campaign, but with the goal to have real sales. And if your pixel, if your, let's say, Facebook pixel is already trained, it works really well. So in this kind of setup, you will have better result than to have 3 different buckets. Just go for the awareness, then go for the configuration decision. That's reality. That's at least my reality, from what I have tasted. This is theory. It's good theory, but you need to have enough budget to spend it through all these 3 buckets. And that's very, very important. With the B2B sales, it's different. With the B2B, you need to go through all 3 of them. You can't skip one, because in that case, probably you might lose a client, because the B2B works in a bit different way, and you need to, spend more time and give more attention to the person who is your potential client at the awareness stage and consideration stage. Because when it comes to the decision, probably your sales team is working more here. So with the marketing, you want to target the right audience, so to get awareness from the right audience, and then to have your business to consider in order to buy from you. So these are the logic of the digital sales funnel. And now if we start, and if we speak about performance, so you can apply performance kind of setup at every stage, and I will show you how. So the awareness first stage, here you can basically use setup on Facebook and on Google. I would consider these 2 as the main ad channels very easily. So the Facebook, when you are set up and creating new campaign, simply choose not the auction, but choose reach and frequency buying type. With the reach and frequency, you will be able to buy, traffic for the fixed amount. You will pay that for cost per mile, CPM bidding kind of. And with CPM bidding, you will pay for the impressions, but it will be fixed price. So let's say this kind of setup works really well when you are preparing, let's say, for the Christmas, for the hot seasons, when there are a lot of advertisers. So you can set up this kind of campaign 2 months in advance, buy your future traffic and leave it, and that's how you will be able to measure, and that's how you will be able to spend here like 30% of your whole customer acquisition costs and not overspend. So that's how you will have the performance at the TOFU stage, and will know exactly how much you can spend and how many traffic you can bring. Because with the performance, what's performance? Performance is when you pay for the goals. At the TOFU stage, as we were speaking, you pay for the awareness. So you pay for the target audience to see ads. With the Google, is the same. You pay. You just need to choose bidding type, viewable impressions, and you can pay for the CPM and just add a maximum amount, for them to spend. That's it. So you will get the traffic for that price. Those are the main ad channels, and that's, let's say, the easiest way how to set up your performance settings, if we can say like that. But then there's always, let's say, a real life, because all like Google, Facebook, these are all the channels everyone is going for. You don't need to be super smart to use them. I think in a couple of years, they will be completely automated. There will be no more actually need of the advertising agencies or anything. And now, especially now, when knowing that from the next year, there won't be any Facebook Pixel and Google, no more Google remarketing as we know it now on personal level. So I think it's a really crucial time to start partnerships. At the tofu stage, partnerships are a really strong instrument. And that goes a bit beyond traditional marketing. But what you need to do is simply need to understand your target audience. When you know your target audience, then you are able to reach them through other businesses. So let's say one of the examples that we had, if you're selling shoes for the women that are from 45, so you can go to the other businesses that are selling kind of garden instrument or cooking secrets to that target audience and simply partner with them, saying that, hey guys, like we have the same audience, so let us promote you and you please promote us, and it will be like basically not for free maybe, but again, probably it will be much cheaper than going through general Google and Facebook channels. So, try and think about differently and go just to people, because at this time, especially now when it's post-COVID time, a lot of businesses, they don't have money. Like there is like real problem in the market. So you just go directly, and I think that other businesses are keen to cooperate these times, to get more value, like without paying too much money to those big channels. So that would be my advice. Okay, now when we talk about middle of the funnel, and when we talk about the main channels, so it's the same thing. You just can set up ads and set up them in a way that you will pay for some kind of action. And action here, in my advice, should be purchase if you are e-commerce businesses. So at the left side, you see a Facebook kind of setup. And with the Facebook, you always need to choose a conversion event when you're running ads. My advice would be always set up purchase. It doesn't matter if you want to get just a traffic, or you want to get some kind of awareness of your new product, but always put the purchase. Why? Because from our multiple A/B testings, we saw that cost per click, it's cheaper when you set up purchase as main goal. So the algorithm works in a way that actually it finds you the people who are ready to buy. So you can drive the traffic and you can get much traffic. And again, if you will set a really low CPC, cost per click, you will get that traffic with that low CPC. But the problem is that these people won't be ready to buy. These people will be people who like to click on everything, because that's the way the algorithm works on Facebook. If you're telling them to get the traffic, the algorithm works in a way to get you the traffic, and it doesn't care what happens next. Now, if you will set a goal, add to cart, so probably we'll get lots of add to carts, but not too much sales. So in this case, again, maybe it won't work in your case, but that's from my experience, it usually works. So choose purchase. No, and then when you are optimizing it, usually you can choose from the value and conversions, those two main things that works the most. So for both, you can then set up, let's say, the amount. Let's say if you choose purchase and you choose the optimization conversions, and you can add that, okay, I want to have one conversion not more than for 100 euros. And that's how you will control how much Facebook will spend to get you one sale. That works. But for the conversions, let's say rule of thumb that you need to have at least 25 conversions per week. So the pixel would exit learning phase and, you know, get the most out of it. That's for the very beginning. You know, if you're pixel and if you're in the business for years and your pixel is trained well, I'm talking about Facebook pixel. So it will, you know, probably you won't need 25 conversions per week to make it work. But usually for the value, they say that they need more than 100, you know, even like 500 per month. I'm not sure. No, you need to test, because sometimes for us when we're testing campaigns, sometimes value optimization works better from conversions, even though with the value optimization, the campaign is still in the learning phase. So it depends. So from this case, I would really suggest you to test. But, you know, that kind of setup is how you can control the performance. With the Google, is the same. You know, target CPA, target cost per acquisition. As the goal, you know, you need again to set up the conversion, which is purchase, you know, or the lead. You know, if you're a B2B business, so it might be a lead, and you just need to, you know, add how much you are willing to spend for that, and you will get that. So that's the simplest performance, you know, as you can say. Another thing which actually, you know, goes beyond that is the directories. You know, there you can find people who are actively looking for your service. So, you know, just be there. And usually, you know, it all depends how you will negotiate and, you know, how much it will cost you to be there, but it might work just better. So, you know, what I'm trying to say here is that, you know, Google and Facebook are good, you know, you can get the performance from them, but always think the other channels, you know, where you can get same people for less, because with digital marketing is, you know, it's all getting the people for less. So go to the directories, you know, try and negotiate with them, you know. Then bottom of the funnel. With the bottom of the funnel, it's all about the remarketing. So bottom of the funnel, you know, people are already visited the page. You know, they know who you are, they know what you sell, and now they're simply deciding. So with the remarketing, as we say, you know, be rude, be crucial, because, you know, Facebook, let's say we speak with Facebook all the time, you know, on the best practices. They say, hey guys, you know, remarketing for this client is too aggressive, you know, like, you know, keep it like you know, below 7 impressions for one person. You know, yeah, but not really, because, you know, we had a client who had like 16 impressions for one client, for one like user, and the remarketing campaign was the best at that place. You know, with the 7 impressions, with the 8 impressions, it wasn't so successful. So, you know, again, test what worked the best, but, you know, don't stop at those recommended 7, you know, impressions per one person, because they will get angry. It's not like that. You know, people are used. Majority of the people even don't notice those ads because it's too many of them. So, you know, you need to be like really aggressive here. Just my recommendation. So with the Facebook, you simply can choose remarketing, like retarget ads. If you e-commerce, you know, you can do the catalog sales and then show, you know, specific products for the people who have visited your website. Here, probably what's important is to choose the days, because it's hardly that people will buy, you know, your product, how to say, for 30 days. You know, if they visit your page and after 30 days, they will come back and buy, probably not. Usually it works the best with the 7 days setup. And I would recommend to test it against 14 days. Those are two different buckets. So you can make like one audience from 1 to 7 days, and second from 8 to 14 days, and test these two. You know, if you have enough money, again, it all depends on the money. You know, use like even higher days range. But if, you know, tighten the budget, you know, utilize like the 7 days, then go to the 14 days, because the ones with the 7 days, you know, works the best, for sure. And same with the Google, you know, you just choose the target CPI, you choose the audience which have already visited your page, and that's how you will get your remarketing. So that's, you know, how to say, simplest way, and that's actually is the most how to say, efficient way. Because when we talk about, let me get back in a few slides, when we talk about the digital marketing, that's the ideal digital sales funnel. But the most of the money are at the bottom. So you need to start from the bottom. If you don't have enough money, just use it at the retention stage, at the decision stage, at the consideration stage. If you still have some, put to the awareness stage, because it's good to use all of them. But from the performance, again, point of view, that's a theory. In practice, you need to take the clients who are ready to buy. So spend most of the money there. If you have something, put above. That's again my point of view here. Okay, so when you already have your clients, so yes, at the bottom of the funnel, beyond the Google and Facebook, affiliate is what is the best, how to say, performance kind of channel. Try and find affiliate partners. Try and find affiliate programs for your business, because with the affiliate, it's simple. You pay only for the result. And you don't care, how they will bring these clients to your website or just to a business. You will pay just for the results. And that's what's the most important. So I would strongly recommend you to have affiliate program for your business. And then try to find affiliate partners, because affiliate channel, for me, I think it's underestimated. For the size businesses, is the main channel. For other businesses, again, try to find, can you use affiliate programs? That's really, from this presentation, if you want to be good as performance, go and think about how to get affiliate for you. That's really works really well. And then retention, retention. You already have a client. So that's why, you should run refer a friend campaign. With the refer, that's only one of the options, how to initiate your existing clients. Let's say with the refer a friend, you probably heard the case of the Dropbox. Refer a friend was the main channel how they actually grow. So maybe for your business it will work something else, but simply try and think, what you could do for your existing clients. That's the, how to say, that's the cheapest kind of channel, and it has a really big, how to say, opportunity for you, to get the most of it, to get the biggest revenue, if you can say like this. So refer a friend is like straightforward. You can have some kind of, loyalty programs, some kind of intensive, but it works. And don't forget that retention is really, really, really important. So yeah, that's it. Yeah, so I won't be a marketing manager, so if I wouldn't have any kind of marketing message here, so simply until my presentation will be finished, we will still have 5 minutes for questions. So simply email at gm@marketingrecycling.com, and I will give you free 1-hour consultation on your business. So we'll be able to discuss, how you could, move forward. But first 3 will be the winners. Great. So now I will have your questions. If you have any, please write at Q&A section, and I will be ready to answer them. No more questions for now. Yeah, so if you don't have any questions, I hope that this kind of information was useful for you. It was probably the, how to say, the beginner's level information on the sales funnel and how you can use your data. Okay, so here's one question. Is it worth to combine performance marketing with influencers? Sure, of course. With influencers, again, that's exactly, when we talk about the performance marketing, it is, you pay for what you get. That's the performance. So with the influencers, you need to, again, to be either strict and say, okay, guys, like there are plenty of influencers, so I will pay you if you will get me, I know, 10 clients or 100,000, visits to the website. So you can agree simply on getting some kind of goal. At the same time, you can then give like 20%, 30% from the sales. That works well for the some kind of intensive. But yeah, with influencers, I would really recommend to work, especially if you're in gaming industry. We had one client, and in gaming industry, it works really well. So go for that. Okay, second question. What do you think about the whole iOS 14 and how to influence data on Facebook? Yeah, so we spoke about Facebook with that for a while, and basically what they said that the performance will go down. That's reality, and they say that it won't be anyway. To keep the same performance level that you used to have. So it will go down because iOS, users, they are good buyers, they're good users, and you won't be able to remarket them anymore. But what they will try to do, they will try, to launch some additional tools. Facebook will try to launch some additional tools which will help you to get even better kind of audience from other sources. So they're saying that it will go down, but they will try to, keep it up and do whatever they can. Do you have tips for how to do partnerships in B2B industry? So it's the same. For me, digital marketing is all about your target audience. So when you will know your target audience, try to think and what kind of other businesses have the same audience, and then approach them directly. That's it. And if you will have a good deal, so there will be a possibility to go partner. But target audience, focus on your target audience, and when you will then identify it, you will find the partnerships, who will work with you. A landing page is still a good way to go for brand awareness campaigns or even sales campaigns, or you should optimize your website. And I would go for the landing pages. Yes, we're still using them. You just need to think, should we, keep improving, keep A/B testing. But yes, landing pages are crucial because, if you will have a really good landing page, let's say for the Google ads, and I mean the AdWords, so the quality score for your ad will be high, and that in that way the cost per click will go down, so your performance will be better. So for sure, use them, try them, but again, separate them from the SEO. SEO works for your main site, for the landing pages, work with that. That's my recommendation. Yeah, that's it. Could you elaborate more on using performance marketing in gaming industry? So pay for the result. Let's say in gaming industry, traffic is good, but with the gaming industry, I would go for the influencers, as I mentioned, and then simply, initiate them by sharing some kind of revenue with them, saying that, okay, that's a personal code. If someone will come on my website and will buy, goods with your code, you will get 20, 30% of the price. That works well. Just try it. Lookalikes based on recent customers that purchased or on LTV. Do you have personal experience? I'm not sure. What do you mean? Yes, lookalike audiences. Yes, for sure. Very good. It works really well. Use lookalike audiences for your existing customers with LTVs. If that was the question, it works really well. I would say that's exactly from which kind of audience I would start on Facebook, to upload my existing customers with values and create a lookalike audience, for them and advertise on that. Yes, sure. Good. So my session comes to an end. It's just 20 seconds. So really, thank you guys for the questions. Hope you learned something at this session. and then have a good rest of your conference. Thanks.